Yes. People, what is happening? Are we in here? Are we loud and clear? Let me know. I'll have a look at the chat in a sec. Just posting. And then I'll have a little look at the chat. Discovery Plus is what I've had to do to get the games. Here you go. I'll give you a little bit of inside info. God, a lot of people talking about me doing drugs on here. I know I'm skinny. I look a bit like I've been on the pipe, but that's purely from a boxing weight cut for a fight that never ended up happening. Yeah. I made a bit of a mistake, really, didn't I? Because I said on the match preview, I said about Legia Warszawa, and I was like, oh, look, if we can't, we should be smashing these boys and whatever. And then someone reminded me that they beat Aston Villa last season. I don't remember that. 2 seconds. 2 seconds. Get this set up. 2 secs, people. 2 secs. Bear with me. Bear with me. Okay. We could do it like that. Hold on. How are we gonna do this? I believe long ago. Never to live in anyone's shadow. Right, maybe if I just... Fuck's sake. Just let me fucking... Right, okay. So... we're able to get it so I can see the match. How's that for you lot? Is that alright? I'm going to be watching the screen over here, and then your screen is down here. Let's have a little look. We've got 70 in here. Why so negative all the time? Game's not even started. Give the boys a chance. Yep, I'd agree with that. Listen, people, there were a lot of you, or quite a few of you, that reached out to me after the preview video went out with Josh, and said, like, you know, well, some people in the comment section were saying Chelsea have finally broken Joey, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, like even Joey, the most optimistic Chelsea fans, now giving up hope and whatnot. I sort of discussed this, so some of the members of Joey and Josh will have already heard this, but I might as well speak again on it quickly. I had a fight scheduled for this Saturday. I had no indication the whole way through my camp. So when I'm like spending a lot of money on loads of different things, and when I say a lot of money, I'm on about tens of thousands. Yeah. Obviously I was, you know, you spend money to make money and whatnot. So, you know, it's not like I wasn't going to be reimbursed and be paid and whatnot, but I'd spent a lot of money. I had trained my arse off, and more so than all of that, more so than everything, is the fact that it was the first time ever I was coming off a loss, and I've had to sit and live with that loss for like 6 months and whatnot in my head, and probably a coping mechanism, do you know what I mean? But in my head, feeling like, oh, I shouldn't have lost, you know, it wasn't fair and whatnot and whatever. As I say, probably a coping mechanism. So when I recorded that match preview, and when we had that studio session, was probably like 72 hours after me getting the news that the fight was off. Now, the fight has been rescheduled. It's got a new date, but that still doesn't mean that an extra, a good few thousand need to now go into the next 5-6 weeks of preparation. It still doesn't mean that I'd spent a lot of money that I can't get back. It still doesn't mean that I wasn't getting a lot of people messaging me, almost blaming me in a way, saying like, I'm an 18-year-old uni student on benefits. I'd booked a train ticket. It cost me £110 or whatever. And the train line aren't refunding me, like whatever. I had a lot of this sort of stuff on my plate to deal with. And the fact that, you know, just, yeah, as I say, financially it was a big, big hit for me. A real big hit. Like, probably the worst definitely the worst I've ever taken and whatnot. A lot of people say about Misfits Boxing, like when I've spoken about it and opened up and shown a little bit of emotion on it in the past, a lot of people have said like, oh, why is he talking like it's professional boxing? It's literally influencer boxing. The level I box at, the guy I just boxed was a Golden Gloves winner. You know what I mean? Mike Tyson was a Golden Gloves winner. Plenty of great fighters that you've heard of were Golden Gloves winners. New York Golden Gloves winner as well. New York has got, I think, 3 times the population of Scotland. So if you're the best in your weight division as an amateur in New York, imagine if I came up against the best in my weight division in Scotland as an amateur. That guy's going to be good. So the level I'm boxing at, I'm not calling it pro, but it is good. And it is life-changing money. Do you know what I mean? So I took a big, big hit on it. And I probably wasn't in the best frame of mind to be recording. And maybe that's why it came across negative. So I want to apologise for that. Read through a few of the comments as we get ready for the match to begin. Obviously, once the match begins, I will be watching the screen. I'll be answering the super chats as they come in. As always, instantly. Kunku starting, yep. Joey rolled a bigger spliff than usual. That's why he's late. No spliffs for me. No spliffs for me. Little bump before the stream too. I hear that sniff. No. None of that shit for me. I don't do drugs. I mean, I've got Supreme CBD gummies, and yeah, CBD oil, but I don't do drugs. I don't mind the odd edible every now and again out of camp, but yeah, I haven't inhaled smoke firsthand since I was 23 years old, and I'm 31 this year, so there you go. And I definitely don't do marching powder, fuck that. Morning from California, lifelong Chelsea fan. What's happening, mate? Here we go, super chat come in. Thank you very much, Simon. I really appreciate that. What is the best shit Chelsea season? Ooh, that's a good question. That is a bloody good question. What is the best shit Chelsea season? Let me think about this, because obviously I think we finished about, where did we finish that season? We finished 6th. So you'd probably say the 2011-2012 season, because obviously the Champions League win, although we finished 6th. Probably on course to hit about the same points total that we're going to hit this season, if we're lucky, maybe. And, you know, the standards that we were held to back then, they were real high. So I would say that might be the best shit Chelsea season. However, what was the season when we finished 10th? Because I'm pretty sure that was the season that, despite finishing 10th, we turned up in the one match and one match only that we needed to turn up in. And that was the match that derailed Spurs' title challenge. It must have been the 16-17 season when Leicester won the league. And then we went and took their best player and won the league the next season ourselves. So there you go. Simon. Kevin Reyes, what's happening, mate? Good to hear from you. Afternoon, Joey. Blessings to you all. Missed a few of your lives, but great to be here with all you legends. How's your week been? Thank you, Kevin, mate. Really, really appreciate that. Week has been full of ups and downs, to be honest. If I'm being completely honest with you, because as I say, it's like, you know, the Misfits fight didn't happen and whatnot. Did all the training camp and yeah, had a couple of other bits of underwhelming news, but well, not underwhelming, bad news, but and then now like going back into camp basically, do you know what I mean? Going back in, someone said my door's open. No, my door ain't open. Yeah, so yeah, in terms of my week, going back into camp, and also just like going back into training when you felt the hard work was done, you felt you were cooked, you were ready, you know, you were perfect, and then yeah, you know, so pretty shit. But I've learned to not let it affect the content and to not let it affect the stuff that we do, obviously off of the channel. And you've got to take the positives where you can as well, because like the Joey and Josh channel is doing unreal, like it's doing so well. The TikToks are doing really well. We're monetized on there now, so we're earning a little bit of cash off of the TikTok. The YouTube has really started to pick up, so we're earning a little bit of money off of there as well. So we're now like covering our costs on Joey and Josh, because we had employed an editor, because we wanted to make sure, you know, that we weren't losing out on money constantly. So yeah, good. Thoughts on the Chelsea lineup? Let's have a little look at it. Obviously, Jorgensen, there's no surprises there in goal. Now, let's see. I'm actually just waiting, because although the lineup's out, I want to look at it and see positionally where I think players and people will be in this game. So, Jorgensen in goal, a Changpong right back, Tosin Adarabioyo, Benoit Badiashile, Malo Gusto. So, for me, it's going to be a midfield three of Malo Gusto, Kiernan Dewsbury Hall and Reece James. I think if I had to put my money on who pushes on furthest out of those three, it's probably going to be Kiernan Dewsbury. Actually, no, sorry. It's probably going to be Malo Gusto. Then you've got Jadon Sancho, Cole Palmer, Tyrek George on the right-hand side. Interesting. And Nkunku up front. Yeah. How optimistic do I feel about that? God knows. Not too sure. Kevin Reyes, it's hard, but these things happen for a reason. You got the time to work harder, and then when the fight does happen, you'll get the win. Yep, thank you, mate. I appreciate that. Gusto left back. I don't think Gusto will be left back. I think that Gusto will be more like left-sided 10, left wing at times. Bearing in mind that Jadon Sancho doesn't really hug the touchline. He likes to come further out wide. And Malo Gusto might be tasked with cutting it back, putting it on the right foot and driving it through. So, yeah, potentially that's what'll happen. Right, let's get some score predictions in here, ladies and gentlemen. Joey, would a Palmer stat pad make your week better? 100% it would be. 100% it would be. Still don't get why Maresca benched Kukurea and Jackson if they weren't going to start here. Me neither, mate. Me neither. Chuck them on for the first half. Take them off in the second. That's how you do it, really, in my opinion. 2-0 Chelsea, 3-0 Chelsea, 4-0 Chelsea, 3-1 Chelsea, 5-0 Chelsea. A lot of people very confident here. A lot of people very, very confident in here. 9-0. I don't know about that. Right, let's get the thing ready. So it starts. They can't be kicking off bang on time because with Discovery, which is TNT Sports, isn't it, that I'm watching it off, it's on the Discovery app. It can't be late, do you know what I mean? So just waiting for it to kick off so I can set the clock. Cole Palmer, man. I really want him to rock up and deliver tonight. But he needs the service. I feel like he was so good last season that there are certain sections of the fan base that just expect him to do it all on his own. There we go. We're going. We're underway. Very foggy. Very foggy. I mean, I'm going to be completely honest. When it's up there on the right wing for Legia Warsaw, it's hard for me to fucking see anything. Is that just me? Or is that everyone else? It's hard for me to see anything. L Rob 26, what's happening, bro? Listen, people, I will be trying to check on the chat every now and again. But as I said, with the fog in this game, it's hard enough for me to fucking see anything anyway. So super chats, I get a little notification. I'll obviously prioritize them as I always do. And as always, you can ask me anything in the super chat. I will reveal all. But yeah, a Legia Warsaw corner here to start. They play it short. Little set piece routine. Ball gets whipped in. Oh, meets a Chelsea head. Flicked on to the back post. Am I the only one that thinks that Enzo is a better captain than Reece James? I think that Enzo is probably more vocal than Reece, which is weird, being that obviously English is Reece's first language. Then again, maybe not that weird, you know what I mean? You look at Caicedo, Enzo, both Spanish speaking, Cucurella, Spanish speaking, and then apart from a few English lads there, I'd say the rest of our squad are mostly French speaking, no? Jackson, native tongue, I would imagine is French. Obviously Senegalese. The people from Senegal speak French, mostly. I'm not sure. People, remember, I'm fucking dumb as anything when it comes to this. Kevin Reyes, thank you very much for the super chat, bro. 5 exercises good to do at home to get in shape. All depends how much space you've got. Have you got a little bit of space? I.e. a driveway, a back garden, front garden, something like that. Because the first thing I would say is skipping All you need is a skipping rope. Very easy. 3-minute rounds, maybe a 40-second rest in between, and just skipping. That's a good one for burning fat and whatnot. And obviously, because you're doing it on the spot, as long as you've got enough room to move a skipping rope, then that should be good. Mate, dips off the side of your bed, off the side of the sofa. That'll work your triceps. And then the usual push-ups, number 3, sit-ups, number 4, and I'd go squats and lunges, so you get 6 there. But really, cardio-wise, unless you've got a punch bag, a bit of equipment like a bike or something like that, it's hard. You've got a back garden, so there you go. Depending on the size of the garden, you'd definitely be fine with skipping rope. And maybe do like intervals, maybe do like 40 seconds moderate speed, 20 second sprints, 40 seconds moderate, 20 second sprints. Do 3 of them, that's a 3-minute round. So yeah, there you go. Do you have tickets for the home game? Yes, I have got tickets. I had a few people comment and message me asking if I'd give them the tickets, because I said I might not be going now. I might go. And if not, I've already told my pal that he can have the 2 off of me. Well, two of my best mates. I've already told them to, because I was taking one of them anyway. So I've said, oh, you still go. I'm not going to blow you out just because I'm not going. You can take Frank. So yeah, but there we go. Good ball one back there by Chelsea. Malo Gusto. Legia Warszawa appealing for the foul, but Chelsea win it back. That's good. Now we need to progress it. Less sideways passes in this match. Cole Palmer in a bit of space there. Needs to be found by Kiernan Dewsbury-Hall. So it looks to me like a back 3. Reece James probably sitting in as the sort of base defensive midfielder. And then Kiernan Dewsbury-Hall, Cole Palmer and Malo Gusto are forming a 3 behind the 3, basically, when we're in attack. Malo Gusto, to me, looking like the furthest forward. Yeah. Will True Geordie be commentating your fight? I'm not sure. I've got no idea. I don't know. I don't really know what's going on. Do you know what I mean? We've obviously got a rescheduled date. I'm working towards that scheduled date. But I think that maybe for a couple of weeks, I just got to drop the intensity of camp a little bit. Do you know what I mean? I love James and Cucurella and Gusto, but I also loved Chile and wanted to see him back so much. Do you know what, right? I feel like the chill dog would get minutes if he was here. There you go. Ball one back well by Cole Palmer there. But then lost by Cole Palmer too. Yeah. I feel like when you look at that inverted role, I've actually seen Chilwell do it quite well. He did it against Middlesbrough. I was there in the cup when we beat them 6-1 or something. After you beat Andy Howson, what is the trajectory that you and Mams have spoken about, if any? One more fight. One more fight against a very well-known Misfits fighter. And then if I can win that fight, which I'll probably be a bookmaker's underdog for, I'd imagine. If I can win that fight, then a title shot. There we go. Ball one by Chelsea. Dewsbury-Hall bursting up the wing now. Ball into the box, but doesn't beat the first man. Out for a Chelsea corner. Ball whipped him. All the way to the back stick. Headed on a few times. But no one... Oh! Ball ends up dropping to Jadon Sancho. He passes along the ground, but it's cut out there. Any hint on the opponent or what Mams is planning that fight for? No. Sorry, mate. No hint on the opponent. If I was to give a hint, it will just give it away. And ultimately, I don't mean to sound too deflated and whatnot, but if you put yourself in my position of the last week, to finish a camp, more or less, maybe I'd like one more set of sprints or one more spar or whatever, but to have finished a very long camp and then find out that you're not fighting, it kind of makes me hesitant to want to speak about any possible opponent or route or plan, because in my head I'm thinking, well, let's just fucking hope this fight happens. Do you know what I mean? Some good work there out on the wing from Jadon Sancho, who's over on the right wing. Out for a Chelsea throw-in. It looked like it was going to go out for a corner there. I'd rather Josh Changpong at left back over Malo Gusto. Ooh. Not sure about that. The fact I'm choosing to watch you over the game is a sad state of affairs as a Chelsea fan. As much as I love you, I should want to watch my team of 25 years. Well, I'll take the good from that, which is thank you that you're watching me. But you can watch both. You can have me on the phone and the game on the TV. But I do understand you. I do understand you. It is a bit deflating at times. But we got to persevere. We do have to persevere. Sometimes I'm not a good one for practicing what I preach. But what I do preach is to try and release a positive energy into the atmosphere. Sorry, Joe, I missed it. Why are you not fighting? Injury / opponent pulled out? No, neither. Whole show was postponed. I'm not injured and the opponent didn't pull out. So Jadon Sancho down on that right flank now. And he's actually cutting inside, going at men. Ends up passing back to Cole Palmer. Not the best pass. Cole Palmer turns his man twice there, actually. Releases the ball. There you go. That's a nice bit of play. Reece James now needs to put it up to Tyreek George on the left wing. It's made his way to George. Whipped in, but again, no one quite there to meet it. Overhit. Right, let's see a few of these. If Arsenal beat Real Madrid and they fire Carlo Ancelotti, would you take him back at Chelsea? Yes, in a fucking heartbeat. But I don't think he'd come. Best meal went on a diet. Because I lived the life quite well, right? I would say that my best meal when I'm on a diet, because of the fact that, as I say, I do live the life quite well, and stay sort of in and around the weight. I can have like Thai fried rice, chicken and prawn, stuff like that. Bit of lemon squeezed on it, little bit of soy sauce. There you go. Ball whipped in from Jadon Sancho, who's being lively on that right-hand side, but it ends up meeting a Legia Warsawa defender first. Totally out of your control. The fight being postponed, yeah, it was out of my control. Nothing I can do about it. Nothing I can do about it. Who do you think is better, Caicedo or Enjoy? Who's Enjoy? There we go. Interception. Legia Warszawa giving us a little bit of trouble. Pinning us back a little bit. There you go. That's a bit better from Nkunku. Tackling and winning the ball. Being tackled himself. And then flying into a challenge. But I won't criticise him too much for it. Because although you'll probably get a yellow card for that in a sec. It's a bit more of what I wanted to see from him. Showing some commitment. So... munching on anything today, mate? So far today, I've had a white grenade bar, carrot and hummus. Here we go. Cole Palmer. Now, I think he took the wrong option there. Should have put that one to Malo Gusto. Malo Gusto was in space on the left-hand side. Oh, he meant Enzo. Caicedo or Enzo. Both great players. If you had to be without one for the whole season, I think that the vast majority of the Chelsea fan base would say they would rather be without Enzo for a whole season than Caicedo. So, yeah, I think that answers your question. But I don't really want to say, like, oh, better and whatnot. What day we play in Ipswich? We play Ipswich on... I don't know. Oh, Sunday. We play Ipswich on Sunday. Play Ipswich on Sunday. And it's not on TV. Legia Warszawa breaking now. Good challenge there from Benoit Badiashile. And Benoit Badiashile is a player this season that I'd say about 85% of the time when I've seen him, I've been pretty impressed. It wasn't a great challenge by Benoit Badiashile. Just watching the replay, didn't win the ball at all. But either way, who cares? $218 of you guys in here right now. Thank you very, very much. Smash the like button on it. It really does help. Helps the channel. If you're not subscribed to the channel, by the way, make sure you are, because it's not just the live watch-alongs we do. We drop match previews and reviews for every single game. Good. Nice ball through there to Cole Palmer. Cole Palmer to Tyrek George. And that's the problem. When you get into these wide areas, there's not a lot of height in the box. Like, what are you expecting? Nkunku or Dewsbury Hall to rise for a header in this situation? Against the load of 6 foot plus centre-backs, it's probably just not going to happen. Sancho dispossessed there. Just about wins it back. Fair play. Joey, you bring the light to my Chelsea darkness. Thank you very much. Squeege? Thank you very much, mate. I really appreciate that. Legia Warsaw fans letting off even more fucking flares, making it harder for me to see. Keenan Dewsbury Hall now, he's got Jadon Sancho on the outside of him. He chooses to go inside. Nkunku fucks the run up, basically. Quite an open game so far, I would say. No real opportunities for either team. both teams actually counter-attacking each other. Like, Legia Warsaw aren't parking the bus here. Not from what I'm seeing. Legia Warsaw are optimistic here. I think, like, with these teams, I think no matter where Chelsea are in the league at this moment in time, no matter how far we may have fallen under this new ownership, and no matter how long it might take us to get back to potentially the heights of where we were under Roman Abramovich, whether that's years, decades, whatnot, I don't know. It still is a cup final when you're a team from Poland who are fifth in the Polish division playing Chelsea, because of the heritage, because of the history, because of the European Cups, you know. 6 of them in total? So it is a cup final, and I think for that reason, they are always going to be bang up for it when they play Chelsea. Again, it's a weird one because it's like, I say the game's open, but how open is it? I think when you've got Philip Jorgensen coming out, 20, 30 yards from goal, that's a bad pass there, attempted from, I believe, tossing Adarabioyo. Luckily, Chelsea latch onto it and cut out the danger. You know, these, like, smoke bomb things. Here we go. Chelsea chance. Takes it up too wide. Ball comes back to Tyrek George. And again, this is just our problem. Without a number 9 or without a Nicholas Jackson, like, who is there to whip the ball into? I don't know. Ball on the edge of the box. Out for a Chelsea corner. Joey, would you ever do a meet at like a pub and watch a Chelsea game with the hardcore, no pressure? Yeah, me and Josh should do something like that. But to be honest, I'm trying. Well, I say I'm trying, I am. I'm staying away from alcohol. And kind of not just corner whipped in from Chelsea here. Legia Warsaw head to it first. Gusto's shot is blocked. And then away from Legia Warsaw. I say I'm trying not to drink. I'm not drinking. And like, don't get me wrong. When I found out the fight was off on the weekend, I must have had about 20 pints. But apart from that, that's just like an isolated incident. I try and make sure that I'm not drinking these days. Super chat come in from Scott. Thank you very much, bro. Really appreciate that. Big up, Scott. I wish we played Enzo in the Argentina position. I suppose to do that, we would need to play with the same system and tactics as Argentina, which we don't. But I do think that Enzo is multifaceted, and I do think that he can play not a number of different positions, but they're good ball intercepted by Reece James. Not a number of different positions, but you know, he can move around in that midfield. Yeah. We don't get the exact same Enzo for Chelsea that we get for that you get for Argentina, but you know, hopefully we will. I'm not saying he's way worse for Chelsea. I think that if you look at the win rate of Argentina in their matches, probably a much higher win rate than Chelsea. You know, so same as like England. Like when England play, most of the time you're winning games. Do you know what I mean? So a Jude Bellingham would look better for England probably than he might for Chelsea. You know, look at Cole Palmer in the Euros final, comes on, scores, and we've watched him so far start, I believe, one Conference League game, nowhere near the level of a Euros final. Doesn't look the same quality at times. So I think there's arguments both ways. Reece James, edge of the box. I just feel like shouting, smash it, take it and blast it when you get it there. Oh dear, Legia Warszawa breaking on us. And luckily, the shot from Morishita, I believe, is put wide. But that's one more shot than we've had. Would I take Gittins for Sancho? Yeah. Joey, what's your most underappreciated Chelsea player ever? Mine was Victor Moses under Conte for a minute there. Yeah, Victor Moses. I think that's a good shout. I always give the same answer, so it's a little bit of a boring one for the hardcore that always tune into my stuff. But I would say Idager Johnson. Because Idager Johnson was a player that was bought in before the takeover, right? And maintained himself as a leader, a versatile player, an important player, a match-winning goal scorer at times, and a great attitude of player, even once the takeover had happened and once we had started to acquire some Galacticos almost, you know. You look at Idager Johnson in the 04-05 season when we won the league, like, I'm pretty sure he opened the scoring on the opening day against Man United when we beat them 1-0, and that really did set the tone. And you could say, oh, well, Lampard and Terry were there before the takeover. Yeah, but no one calls them underrated. Everyone rates them, you know what I mean? Lampard and Terry will make it into every single person's all-time Chelsea 11, won't they? There won't be anyone that wouldn't put Terry or Lampard in there. Whereas there's not many, if any, that would put Idager Johnson in an all-time 11. And that's why I would have to say he is underrated. But yeah, Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank as well. Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank, definitely. Again, though, I don't call him underrated. Because if you class Idager Johnson as a striker, right? When you list out Chelsea strikers, you go Drogba, Costa, Hasselbank. You never say Idager Johnson. If you just say attacking players, you're probably going to say Hazard before him. Some might say Cole Palmer before him, you know. Zola definitely before him. So this is what I'm saying about underrated. I'm saying I class underrated as a player. There we go, header from, I believe, Tosin Adarabioyo on target. Chelsea equal on shots. 27 minutes gone. Nice, exciting game. Crespo, no, not underrated. The fee he was brought in for was ridiculous. It was something like spending 75, 80 odd million nowadays on a player. With like football, what's it? I don't know. Inflation, that's the word. So, yeah. I wouldn't give it to Crespo. Carlo Cudicini, very underrated. Very underrated. Because, again, everyone would have Thibaut Courtois and above that, Peter Cech above him, in all-time 11s. But Carlo Cudicini, the cat, he was amazing for us, I thought. Anelka, great shout. Great shout. Possibly one of the most underrated Chelsea players. And funny that he came in, sort of like, probably what, by the time he came in, would you say he was 30? Was he 30 when we signed him, I reckon? Bit of a journeyman, had been everywhere. Real Madrid, Liverpool, Bolton. Where else had Anelka been by the time we signed him? Quite a few clubs. Ended up going to West Brom after and whatnot. But yeah, still managed to be our top goal scorer one season. Damien Duff, great player. Terrific little player. I was in a lift once, right, in the hotel. Me and my old man. I was in a lift. And Duff and Claude Makelele were in there. And Makelele was lovely to me. Had a picture with me. I was a young kid. I was probably 7, maybe 8. And then, yeah, Makelele had a picture with me. And then the lift doors open. And there wasn't many people there. There was a few. And there wasn't even many kids there. There was maybe 2 kids or something like that. And I went, Damien, can I get a picture of you as well? Whatever. I'd asked if I could have a picture of both of them, and then, I don't know, the way it panned out, I had one with Makelele. And then Damien Duff basically turned me down, said, nah, if I do one with you, I've got to do one with everyone, I've got to shoot, mate. I was just like, oh, okay. But he was still a legend. Ramirez, great shout for underrated players. We're getting some good underrated players in here. Marcus Alonso, good shout for underrated players, I'd say. Everyone's talking about past players. What about the future? Well, mate, we are 30 minutes into a game in the Conference League, which wasn't even a thing the last time we won a Champions League. And we've had one shot on target, which was a tame header. So nothing too bad about talking about the past. Happier times, happier memories. Ball comes into the box for Legia Warszawa, cut out by Chelsea. Now we've won it. Now we need to counter-attack on them. We've got to be quick with this. And Cole Palmer drifting out very, very wide. Not got the options on. Ends up getting tackled, for fuck's sake. Owens, what's happening, bro? How's things? Thank you very, very much. You're a very generous man, mate. I really appreciate that. Missed the last couple streams, but I want you to know I'm back for good. Hope you're well. I want you back. I want you back for good. I guess now it's time for me to give up. I feel it's time. Andre Schürrle, nah, not for me. Matic, loved it. Absolutely loved it. Thank you very much, by the way, for the super chat, Owens. Absolute legend. Matic, I loved what he did, what he said. And I saw what Andre Onana come back with, yeah. Onana come back with, saying, what was it? Value the opinion of players that have won stuff. Have you just not done your research? Matic has got definitely 2, I believe, possibly 3 Premier League titles to his name. Probably not, because I think he needed to have made 9 appearances. And I don't believe he had made 9 appearances to get a winner's medal in that season before we sent him out to Benfica. Obviously brought him back. But then, yeah, after that, couple of Premier Leagues to his name. So, way more than Andre Onana's ever done. If I'm being completely honest. Did you know that Emerson has won the Champions League, Europa League, Conference and the Euros, completed European football? That's pretty good. That's pretty good. Has anyone said Ivanovic? I don't think Ivanovic can be classed as an underrated player. I think he's very rated. Very rated. You know when you see people's all-time 11s and the right-back area is often an area of debate. Chelsea have a shot here. Kieran Dewsbury Hall. Oh! Forces a good save from the goalkeeper. That was a great left-footed curling effort from Dewsbury Hall. Unlucky to not get just outside the box. Curls it perfectly. Needed it to be a little bit further towards the corner. Linus, how you doing, bro? Good to have you back in. Hope Rapid Wien advances. Their stadium is 10 minutes drive from my place. Linus, that'd be brilliant, mate. That'd be brilliant. Then you could go and watch the mighty Chelsea if we were to match up against them. Are we on their side of the draw? I'm not sure. Paulo Ferreira, good shout. Sorry, what I was saying was when we were talking about all-time 11s and whatnot, I see so many more people put Azpilicueta over Ivanovic for a right-back, and I understand that Ivanovic didn't always play right-back, but he did that night against Napoli when he scored the goal that sent us through, and we all know what happened after that. In the 2011-2012 season, Champions League. So, yeah, I can't put him down as underrated. I don't really think you can put Paulo Ferreira down as underrated either. Because he was instrumental in coming in that season from Porto. There you go! Oh, my God! How have we missed it? How have we missed that? Wow. Kalu on his day. Yes. Good shout. Underrated. I'll give you Kalu. I don't know what has happened there. Right, the ball's whipped him from Malo Gusto. The header on from Benoit Badiashile. Nkunku's trying to get a foot on a ball that really, chat, do you agree with me? I kind of feel like you should be going for a diving header on. That's my opinion. Either way, he misses an opportunity from 3 yards out. Best opportunity of the game so far. Because if he gets any contact that goes on target, I don't believe the keeper's saving it. So although we've had that effort from Kieran Dewsbury Hall, that's a pen he gets dragged to the floor. Maybe. I'd have to see it again. Sometimes with Reece James at the base of the midfield, sort of central defensive midfielder, I get it, I like it, because he brings a lot of control to the game. But sometimes games need more than control, and this is what I heard being said about Arsenal the other day. Like it's brilliant being able to systematically and tactically manoeuvre your way through a game, but sometimes you need someone to just be a bit more direct and aggressive. And I feel like the position, and I'm saying this as Reece has just had an effort on goal, by the way, so, you know, he's doing what I'm asking. But sometimes you really do just need someone to do that. Reece has just done it there. But I do feel like Reece's best areas that he gets into normally do come from, I'm not saying they're not central, but they're more to the right. They're more to the right of where he is, because he's very central in this game so far. I think heat map would show you that. Gary Cahill was class. Yep, agreed. The lap, yeah, looks like we're going to be in for him. And if he's picking out of us and Man United, unless Man United pull off some sort of miracle and win the Europa League, you'd imagine he'd pick us. Then again, Man United will pay the transfer fee and they'll pay higher wages than us. And that's for sure. But then what you've got to look at... Sorry, just reading the chat. Then what you've got to look at is like, he's going to be going up massively in wages anyway, right? So he's available when Ipswich get relegated for about 30 million. Man City can go and get him for 40 million. But they're not going to do that. They've got Haaland. They've just signed Mamouche, who looks brilliant, by the way. And I think it's really out of us and Man United who go and get Liam Delap. Is it the number 9 that I would have hoped for? No. I'd prefer Gyökeres. I would. I think he's more mature, more seasoned, has played at a higher level. I actually would argue, I know Delap's got, 11 Premier League goals. I would argue that Victor Gyökeres has done more in English football as well than Delap. I know he didn't play in the Prem, did he, Gyökeres, or did he? But yeah, I'd argue that he's done more in English football than Delap. So yeah, a lot of people saying they'd rather Osman. The Osman thing is just not going to happen. Apparently he wants 340 grand a week. That is a hefty chunk. There you go, Palmer on a turn. Just 3 or 4 players around him every time. Reece James, edge of the box. Have a pop. No. Ball, attempted to be whipped in by Melo Gusto. Tyrek George on the edge of the box, trying to wriggle out, and I said that the game was open at first. Now Tyrek George, he can cut that back. Oh, out for a Chelsea corner. I said that the game was open earlier on, but yeah, it's not that much now. Now, I think Legia Warsaw have realised the quality we've got. Also realised that, I'm not saying they can't counter-attack us and get a goal, but we're not looking weak defensively, are we? And therefore they are parking the bus a little bit now. Keenan Dewsbury Hall ready to whip in the corner. This better beat the first man, for fuck's sake. It does. It's high, headed towards Badia Shill. He's clearly the target in there from these corners, Badia Shill. And I'm not sure whether he's the target to actually shoot from a header or try and get a knock on and a bit of a scramble in the box. Good ball there from Reece James up to the wing. Difficult one for Tyrek George to control. A lot of people saying just pay him the wages. I get it. I do get it. And let's say, for example, we could get Raheem Sterling off the books, who's on 300 odd grand a week or whatever. I don't want to sound disrespectful when I say this, but get Ben Chilwell off the books, who's a hefty earner as well. Then yeah, we could free up wages. So I do get it, but I just think if I've got my realism hat on, it's hard to see them breaking the way they do things. Super chat just come in. Edson Ramos, thank you very much for the super chat, bro. Really appreciate that. Joey, I'm from Peru, and the reason I like Chelsea is because of Claudio Pizarro. Do you know where I could buy one of his jerseys? It'd be very hard to find a Pizarro jersey or a Pizarro kit. I think you'd have to go on maybe like eBay or something. Edison. I think you'd have to go on maybe like eBay, something like that. And then go somewhere and get it printed on the back. Like buy an old kit. When was Pizarro with us? 06? Yeah. Buy an old kit and then get it printed on the back. Nkunku's on 200k per week. Yeah. And it's brilliant. Because you can go, right, Nkunku and Sterling off the books. That's $500,000 a week freed up. Getting them off the books is not that easy. It's not that easy. Do you know what I mean? Honestly. I wonder whether Kiernan Dewsbury-Hall will move on at the end of the season. Because for a player like Kiernan Dewsbury-Hall, would he have been better staying off at better off staying at a Leicester side that ultimately will be relegated? Would they have had a better chance of staying up with Kiernan Dewsbury-Hall? Definitely, I would say, because he'd have started every match for them and he was their best player last season. But I believe that the relegation battle was done as soon as Wolves started to pick up a bit of form. David Moyes came in and, you know, saved Everton. Just 1 minute of injury time here. I hope that we see some of the big boys put on for the second half here. That would be saying I'd be very happy to see Nicholas Jackson get a run out. Because Chelsea are quite dominant in terms of possession, passes, everything like that. Cole Palmer on the edge of the box. There you go. He feeds a good ball. Little bit too long taken. There you go. Header down. Oh, and Kiernan Dewsbury-Hall for the second time in this first half comes closest to opening the scoring for Chelsea. And this is what I'm saying about having men in the box that that one wasn't a high cross, it was a lower cross, so obviously you can get a head on it. He'd done the right thing, probably heading it towards the ground, harder for the keeper to save, but not a natural headerer of the ball, you know? Not in those positions where he's going to be scoring headers, Dewsbury-Hall. Scored some screamers for Leicester before, so there you go. Let's have a little summary of the first half now. So, from what I've seen there, first half-wise, very similar to what we've seen quite often in the first half from Chelsea Football Club. Especially in the Conference League and in some of the Premier League matches, which is, yes, we've got a lot of control of the game. Completely understand that. A lot of control of the game, definitely more passes completed. But in terms of clear-cut chances, how many have we had? I think we've had 2 shots on target. We've had Kiernan Dewsbury-Hall header, a Reece James header, and Nkunku, not goal line clearance. I don't know what that was, but fuck knows. An Nkunku chance that was 2 yards out and didn't end up in the back of the net. So Chelsea, without any shadow of a doubt, have been the more dominant team in that first half. But at the same time, I think that's a glass half full mentality. I think you could look at it from the other side and you could say, fuck me, we ain't been great, have we? Do you know what I mean? We ain't been good at all there. And you'd be right to say that. You would be right to say that. One thing I do feel is that a clean sheet, I shouldn't say this, but a clean sheet is probably on the cards here. I don't know. Maybe they'll really go for it, Legia Warszawa, in the second half. But I don't know, defensively, I don't think they've really troubled us. They had that one shot on target, didn't they? They've had a couple of moments where they've forced us to put men behind the ball, put a little bit of pressure on us. But yeah, defensively, I don't really feel like Legia Warsaw have troubled us all that much in that first half. And I think if that's to continue into the second half, we should be sweet. So what I would be doing is I'd be bringing Nicholas Jackson off of the bench in this one. Let's have a little look at our bench at this moment in time. Yeah. My initial subs for this one. I would be bringing... Who would I be bringing? I don't just want to initially go, get Kiernan Dewsbury-Hall off, because I actually think this has been one of the better matches I've seen, or first halves I've seen Kiernan Dewsbury-Hall play for Chelsea Football Club this season. If I'm being completely honest, Gusto's been all right. So a lot of the delivery has come from him sort of cutting it back and then putting it into the box. I would probably rather see a 45 from Cucurella in that second half. And then really just Nicholas Jackson for the time being. Give him 45 minutes. I think that Enzo Fernandez... I personally don't think you risk Moises Caicedo in this match. Finishing in the top four, for me, is more important than winning the Conference League. And I think that you keep Moises Caicedo fresh. And if we need him in the second leg, I'll be there at Stamford Bridge. If we need him in the second leg, then that's what we do. But I think that we keep him fresh. So Enzo off of the bench, maybe around a 60-minute mark, something like that. I don't think drastic changes are needed. I think 2 subs at half-time would probably do the job. I think getting Cucurella and Jackson onto the pitch would improve this Chelsea side tenfold. So yeah, that'd be initially what I would say. Yeah. Maybe Madueke as well. Maybe Madueke for Sancho, I would say. Madueke for Sancho. Some people saying Neto for Sancho. The only thing is, if they continue to play a low block, then yeah, I suppose Neto makes those runs in behind. But I always think that Neto is better against the team that are coming to attack us. Neto against the big boys always seems to play a little bit better. Teams that are happy to play a bit of a low block against us, I don't know whether Neto is the best player or Madueke is the best player, because Madueke likes to be direct, he likes to drive at men, and he usually likes to get a shot off on that left foot. Jadon Sancho is quite good at keeping hold of the ball, but not great, in my opinion, at doing all that much with it. And I think that when you go Sancho, Madueke, Neto, for the style of play that first half has played out in, if the second half was to play out in that same way, then I'd be saying that Madueke is the best man for the job. That's what I'd be thinking. But what do you lot think? Oh, people. I've got to be honest with you lot. I'm tired, man. I'm very drained at this moment in time. Not just like, as in like physically tired. Just like drained. I feel like I need a holiday. I needed a holiday. I needed the fight to happen so I could go away on holiday. Now, if everything's to go well with Misfits, and if I was to come through this fight, it looks like I would possibly be fighting again fairly soon after, which means that I wouldn't be getting a chance to go away on holiday or anything. JPCFC, thank you very much for the super chat, bro. Really appreciate that. Half-time, all of the super chats. If you're going to get one in, make sure you get them in at half-time, because I will answer everything and anything. Still planning to fight your original opponent? Yes, I am still planning to fight him. JPCFC, thank you again for the super chat. Still planning to fight him. I actually spoke to him. And I said, are you still good to fight on the rescheduled date if it goes ahead? And he said, yeah, still training for it. So, yeah, gives us both more time to prepare, I suppose. But for me, I didn't really need more time to prepare. I feel like it probably benefits him more than it benefits me, if I'm being completely honest with you. The extra time, because he's obviously getting used to that boxing style. However, to be honest, I think that when it becomes a fight, I don't know how much of that boxing style he'll be using. I think he'll switch back to revert to type, which is what he knows, which he's very good at. He's a scrapper. Jack Bennett, $4.99 super chat. Thank you very much, Jack. Really appreciate that, bro. If you were given 1,000 grapes and had one... If you were given 1,000 grapes and one had poison that killed you, but you got... What is that? 100,000 per grape you ate. How many would you eat? Ooh. How many would I eat if I was given 100,000? Would I take a 1 in 1,000? I'd eat none. I'd eat none. That's a great question. It's a great question, Jack Bennett. Thank you very much. Anything like that, get them in the super chats, mate, because I like answering stuff like that. And my answer is I'd eat none, mate, because my life is devoted to making my daughter's life better and my son-to-be's life better. And yes, money is the main way of that happening, but you can't take it with you, can you? Do you know what I mean? So, more importantly than money, me being here is the most important thing. So even if it was 1,000 to 1 odds, I wouldn't take the chance. I wouldn't even eat one grape for 100 grand, because, I'll get emotional. Got to roll the dice, no. I always do say roll the dice, but no. Joey, do you remember the Tia Sharp case? You cover it with Josh on the podcast? Yes, of course. I remember the Tia Sharp case well. Local to me, to be honest. It was sort of Croydon area, wasn't it? New Addington. And I'm Epsom, so not far from it. Tia Sharp should have been maybe around my age. I suppose now she'd probably be like, 25, 24, something like that. Who's your dream fight, bro? I'd like to smash the fuck out of Dean the Great. I'd like to smash his head in. Jose Falco. Bro, men's mental health is a serious thing, bruv. Take care. Thank you, mate. Yeah. As I say, I don't know. It's hard for me to say what I can and what I can't say on here. I don't know why I'm whispering, like someone's going to hear. This camp, for me, this training camp for this fight, I had so much, shit. So much bad news, and I had some really, really deep shit happen that definitely took its toll on me mentally, and I had to persevere and train through all of that. And it was I'm not going to go into specifics, but it was family related shit, which is obviously my most important thing in the world. What means the most to me is my family. And there were a few multiple things, family orientated, that were putting myself under a lot of stress, and whatnot. And I remember when it was all going on and when things were happening and whatnot, and a lot of it's still ongoing and can't be changed. But I remember thinking, I've had all this sort of bad news during the build-up for this fight, and all this shit stuff happen, that the pot of gold at the end of all of this and the reward for persevering and carrying on, going and sparring with, let's be honest, killers, very good professional boxers, national champions, carrying on with my sprints when I don't feel like it, dieting when I'm hungry, all this stuff. When emotionally I'm not in the greatest of places, I kind of thought that the reward, the pot of gold at the end of it, is going to be the win in this fight. So to have it delayed was gutting. And then financially, it was obviously gutting. So, yeah, God knows. I don't know. I'm just waffling on now, and what do I predict for today's match scoreline? I still think a Chelsea win. I still do think a Chelsea win. I think maybe a 1, maybe a 2, maybe a 1-0, maybe a 1-0. By the way, it says my camera is overheating. I wish I could show you, but I can't because it's the camera. So it says it's overheating. Let me feel. Is it hot? Yeah, feels a little bit hot. But yeah, if it does overheat, it will just switch to the webcam. So don't worry about it. If it overheats, and it will switch to the webcam. Better, not as good a picture quality, but I'll turn the camera off for a sec, and then we'll link back up to this one. So it'll be all good. Yep. Here we go. There we go. Would you rather fight 100 duck-sized elephants or 1 elephant-sized duck? 100 duck-sized elephants, because I could just kick them. I've been watching a lot of The Walking Dead recently, and it makes me kind of feel like if something's a bit slow or smaller than me, I could just go through like 10 of them at once with an axe, like Rick Grimes. Am I confident we get top 4? No, not confident. Optimistic. If I had to put my money on it, do we get top 5? I'm a gambling man, so yeah, I would. But if I'm giving you a percentage, I would say 50-50 that we get it. I think that Newcastle's form, and you look at their fixtures, I think they're riding high at the moment. And even in matches like the Brentford game, I didn't think they looked great, but they still came away with the result. And that shows a lot of resilience. That shows that they're picking up things right at the best time. Man City, their form is like patchy, and it's like they're not playing great, but they can play great, and they've got great players. And I'm not on about in the same way that Chelsea can play great and have great players. I'm on about proven winners. Yeah, okay, we've got Enzo Fernandez, we've got Reece James, proven major honour winners. But Man City, it's just very hard to count them out. So yeah, Newcastle and Man City are my main worries. I'm not as worried about Aston Villa. I'm not as worried. Here we go. Subs coming on. It is Levi Colwell and Noni Madueke, by the looks of things. Yeah. Colwell and Madueke. Not sure who they'll be coming on for. Cole Palmer comes off for Noni Madueke. Just getting the clock ready for the second half. Referee about to blow his whistle. Hurry up. Slick back hair. Ref that I've never seen before. Here we go. Second half game. Now, who did Levi Colwell come on for? Probably Reese, I would imagine. Oh, Tosin Adarabioyo. Tosin Adarabioyo is who he came on for. Palmer off, yeah. What did I think of the Arsenal result and Rice goals? I thought that the 2 Declan Rice goals were absolutely phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. I think they're the first 2 free kicks he's ever scored, you know. Because I saw a thing on Twitter. Oh, lovely little bit of play there, but foul from Legia Warsaw. I saw a thing on Twitter. His last 13 free kicks or something. And there wasn't any goals there, and it was going back to the West Ham days. So, but I've got a memory of him scoring a free kick, but maybe not. Maybe not. I think he's definitely got a lot better from set pieces. Ball lifted in there, on the head, and over. Third chance for Kiernan Dewsbury Hall. The man could have had a hat-trick so far. I'll tell you what. Kiernan Dewsbury Hall might have been our best player so far today. At the same time, he might have been one of our worst players, because he's squandered 2 chances and missed 1. Do I think Real Madrid can come back? Do you know what? I wouldn't write them off. But at the same time, Arsenal will put 11 men behind the ball. They will park the bus at the Bernabeu. And yeah, nah. I don't see him coming back, to be honest. And if that is enough to get Ancelotti the sack, God knows. Because I don't think, you know, with his record, I don't think that should be enough. Malo Gusto now got a little bit of space. Here we go. Oh, Malo Gusto cuts it back to Jadon Sancho. Beats his man, but out for a Chelsea corner. Ball's played short. Malo Gusto with the whip in, but it doesn't beat the first man. Washing my eyes out with bleach after a Chelsea match is becoming routine. If I speak, I'm in trouble. Listen. A lot of people in the chat talking about Enzo Maresca. Give it a minute. We're 3 minutes into the second half. And so far, in the Conference League, I feel like Maresca's sides have come out better for the second half. I've got a feeling, being that there's no international tournament this summer, I really have a feeling that Cole Palmer will have some sort of surgery at the end of the season. Does anyone else agree with me? Does anyone else have that feeling? I've got a feeling that he has played the whole season with what we'd call a knock. Here you go. Hit it on the volley, Reece James. Oh, keeper saved it and in! But it's going to be ruled out for offside, I'm guessing. Or is it not? It's Tyreek George. He's made it 1-0. Is it going to be ruled out? I don't think it is. It doesn't look like it is. Come on. Tyreek. Opening the scoring for Chelsea and opening his account, I believe. I think he's got an assist. Has he got a goal so far, Tyreek George? Very, very good. Very instinctive to be able to follow that ball up. I said earlier on that if Reece James gets half a chance, he needs to be hitting it. He does that. Stings the hands of the goalkeeper. Very cool, calm, collective. Very well put away from Tyreek George. And so quick off of the mark to chase that one down. I think that was brilliant there from Tyreek George. It puts Chelsea 1-0 ahead. I am absolutely buzzing about it. And no need to VAR it or anything like that. So, all good. Now, not to play the smart arse here with you. I'm not playing the smart arse. But at 48 minutes in, there were Maresca out comments and whatever. And I'm not saying that this all of a sudden proves anything, but what I'm saying is, I said that so far in the Conference League, we have normally come out better for the second half and we've played better football, looked better. I understand that Cole Palmer had come off. People had wanted to see him on, give him more minutes, but I believe he was carrying a knock. And by the 50th minute, we're 1-0 up. So, there we go. There we go. Legia Warszawa are not going to win at Stamford Bridge. They are not going to win at Stamford Bridge. Their best chance is parking the bus, taking it to fucking penalties and beating us on penalties. And with a 1-goal deficit, they can't do that. They just can't do that, I'm afraid. So now they've got to come and attack us. And now we might see some more from the likes of Tyreek George. From, obviously the likes of Noni Madueke, come on, fresh legs, ready to run at men. Even Jadon Sancho for that matter. We might see more. We might see more. Maresca in or out poll. I don't actually know how to do a poll. Lovely, good bit of play out from the back, transitioning well there. The run in behind. Centre back gets to it just before Tyreek George does. Out for a Chelsea throw-in, putting a little bit of pressure on now. Who did Madueke come on for? Cole Palmer. Subs being made here for Legia Warszawa. Benson did one. 60% out, 40% in. That's mad. I'm not Maresca out. Definitely not. Oh, good. Keenan Dewsbury with another chance. Got it in the box. Took a little bit too long with that one there. Buddy Shield, nice pass through. Malo Gusto. Who'd have thought it? Malo Gusto and Reece James, who thought they'd be competing for right back. They're fucking both playing on the left-hand side pretty much. Yeah. In terms of stance on Maresca, I think that if you went to me, would you be Maresca out if there was the chance that Carlo Ancelotti comes in? I'd go, or if you could swap Maresca for Carlo Ancelotti, I'd go, yeah. But I'm also a realist, and it's not about being non-reactionary, because I can be very reactionary. You know what I mean? I can be very reactionary, normally in a positive way. But it's not about being non-reactionary. But what I do think is, like, I don't know. I just think that I'm a realist, and I understand that the caliber of manager and the profile of manager that we are going for now and would go for now would be someone else in the mould of a Maresca. It would be. It would be, honestly. So I think that then you go, are you Maresca out? Well, not if you're just going to get another guy in, like a McKenna or someone like that. No, I wouldn't be Maresca out. So oh, good header on there from Malo Gusto. If he can take this ball, he heads it on once again. Oh, Chelsea pretty dominant at this moment in time. If Chelsea sack Maresca, we will appoint Thomas Frank. There you go. There you go. What's he done? What's he won? He has established Brentford as a Premier League club, and a solid Premier League club, and more often than not, a top 10 club. But, you know, did Roman Abramovich ever consider appointing Sam Allardyce when he was doing the same with Bolton after them coming up? Do you know what I mean? Did Roman Abramovich ever consider even the more flashier ones, yeah? Right? Think about this. Roberto Martinez brings Swansea up. Would Abramovich have considered a Roberto Martinez after he brought Swansea up and got him a top 10 finish? He wouldn't have. No. Do you know what I mean? So when we go, oh, like, sorry, one sec. When we go, oh, like, yeah, you know, Maresca for someone else or whatever. I don't know. Joey, can you please breathe now and again when concentrating? I keep thinking the screen is frozen. Well, I don't think you're going to want me to go down the mic, are you? Here you go. Yes! 2-0. Lovely. Noni Madueke. The big dog. Nonzino Pacino. 2-0. Chelsea. 2 goals within the first 10 minutes. 11, we call it 10, of the second half of a game that many people felt very, very underwhelmed by after the start of the first half away in the Europa League. What does that remind you of? Does that remind you of anything? A little Reece James screamer, maybe, away, last time out. Listen, this is why I said, people, I said it at half time. Don't panic. Don't panic. We'll go on to win the game. We will go on to win the game. So there is no need to panic. There really is. There's no need. And yeah, they could pull one back. They could make it nervy times for us and whatnot. But Reece James comes off. Cucurella comes on. Not unhappy with that substitute at all. I've seen as much as I need to see from Reece James. 2-0 up. Shored up the game. The armband goes to Levi Colwell. And Cucurella now will be probably more so occupying the position that Malo Gusto has, rather than the position that Reece James did in terms of sitting at the back of that defence, of that midfield, sort of just in front of the defence, I would imagine. There we go, 2-0 up. Things are looking better. Things are looking better. Di Matteo won the FA Cup as well, Championship, League, and FA... What? I don't know what you're going on about. Chang Pong, really out of position there, but I just kind of feel like these lot do what they want. rare occasion that Cucurella is dispossessed, I reckon he's going to win it back at some point. Positionally, sometimes I feel like Enzo Maresca gives his players the will to roam quite a lot. I really do feel like that. I feel like positionally sometimes I look at like, you know, a Changpong drifting over there to left wing. Malo Gusto sometimes when he's actually starting at right back, ending up left wing. Like loads of times, you know, playing as almost a 10 or whatever. I think that positionally Maresca trusts his players to drift into positions where they feel that they might contribute and have success. And I think that when it's going forward, I don't mind it too much. As long as there's cover there. It's doing something a little bit out of the box. Nice. Oh, just missed out there. Thought Noni was going to control that. How many Chelsea players do you think will make the Premier League team of the season? Well, Robert Sanchez, obviously, best save percentage. No. In all honesty, nailed on is Caicedo. Other than that, none, unfortunately. They're going to make team of the season, are they? Who's going to make team of the season? Caicedo's nailed on. He'll make team of the season. Listen, everyone's high on Rice at the minute. There you go. Good. Oh! Jadon Sancho cuts outside. Stings the hands of the goalkeeper with a shot. Yeah. I mean, listen, Rodri's been out all season. Everyone's very high, rightly so, on Declan Rice at this moment in time. At the end of the day, has he been better in the Premier League this season than Moises Caicedo? No, I don't believe he has. Sorry. I don't believe he has. But yeah. You would imagine if they play like a pivot, like two DMs in the Premier League team of the season, you'd imagine that they would probably go with Rice and Caicedo. Maybe. I don't know, man. I think the team of the season at the end of the season's probably got to have at least 2, maybe even 3 Nottingham Forest players in there. Yeah. Or do you know what? Over Rice for team of the season, they might end up having Gravenberch or maybe not a McAllister, maybe a Gravenberch. I don't know. Here you go, Chelsea on the attack. Jadon Sancho drive at him. Now Cucurella. That's the right pass. There you go. Cucurella gets the shot off, but it's blocked. Sells for sure, in my opinion. Yep, I'd agree with you. Gravenberch gets in there. Yep, I'd agree with you. Should we build it then? Should we go with it? Shall we go? Should we go 4-3-3? Then it's quite easy. So we go 4-3-3. We go Sells in. I'm just trying to think now. Oh, hold on. Super chats come in, so I will get to it. 1 second. Bryce Stanway, $4.99. Thank you very much for the super chat, bro. Really appreciate it. Love the channels. Opinion on Rangers and Celtic. Opinion on, I believe you mean how Rangers and Celtic were doing the Prem. I think top 6 within 3 years due to the extra funds and fan support at home games. Yes, I can completely understand that. So I would put them at like the I mean, you look at what Nottingham Forest have done this season. Unbelievable. Only if they finish third, only really second to what Leicester did. But we're starting to see it a little bit more because Aston Villa did it last season and Newcastle did it the season before. Now, Aston Villa and Newcastle, right, are 2 clubs I'm going to give as an example. And people will say this is disrespect against Nottingham Forest. It's definitely not. 2 European Cups to their names. Aston Villa also have a European Cup to their name. But Aston Villa and Newcastle, more widely supported worldwide, you know what I mean? Although they've been down to the Championship, they have got that core fan base. They will sell out their ground every single week, and therefore that's what, or one of the reasons, as well as great management and good recruitment, one of the reasons why I attribute them being able to crack the top 4, or the Champions League spots now we'll call it. So clubs that have that, i.e. an Aston Villa, a Newcastle, people will laugh at me right now, but with the right investment and the right management there, clubs like Everton, yeah, trying to think of big ones that I'm missing out, but yeah, this is what I'm saying. These teams all have the potential to do these sort of things. Nottingham Forest is a bit different. They've got that heritage, that history, but I've been to the City Ground. It's a small ground, mate. And because they spent so many years in the Championship... Oh, bullet of a shot from Kieran Dewsbury Hall. So many years in the Championship, they won't have accumulated the same amount of fan base worldwide as maybe an Aston Villa or a Newcastle have and whatnot. So to answer your question, Bryce, I think that, yeah, with the fan base they have, the support they have, I think that it would be an adjustment period, much like it was for Aston Villa, say, for example, when they first came back up. There you go, shot from Nkunku, but not straight at the goalkeeper saves. There'd be an adjustment period where maybe they'd finish, I don't know, between 10th and 15th or something like that, and people would call that, people would take offence to that, Celtic and Rangers fans. I'm not saying they can't finish higher. I'm saying I would imagine so. But then I think with the right recruitment and management, because of the fan base and the infrastructure and the global support and whatnot, they would all of a sudden leapfrog teams like Fulham and Brentford and Bournemouth and those sort of teams that are pushing towards top 10 and even in top 10. Do you know what I mean? And they'd be more on the same page as Aston Villa's, Newcastle's, teams like that. So, yeah. Hope that answered your question well enough. Here we go. Oh, headed to the back stick. But not enough. One more and the tie's over. Yeah, I believe so. Sells, guaranteed for me. Aina, guaranteed for me. Murillo. Is it Murillo? I mean, Bournemouth have been on a bad run of form recently. Until then, is it Housen? Housen was looking good. Is it Murillo? I mean, you've got to look at Arsenal's defensive record and maybe Murillo. Van Dijk, yeah. Cucurella team of the season. I think that if Liverpool win the title, which they will, they'll give it to Robertson. Cucurella has been good. He has been good. Yeah, he has been good. Midfield 3, I'd probably go Caicedo, Gravenberch, And I'm picking really out of Bruno, Rice. Obviously, Odegaard had quite a bit of time out. That's inside the area, you know. That's a penalty. That's a penalty. Yeah. Tonali's been good. Tonali's been good. The check in VAR for the penalty. I think this should be a penalty. It may just be outside the area. It looked to me like it was in the area. It did look to me like it was in the area. Morgan Gibbs White, by the way, has to have a shout for team of the season. 100%. And then they were only signed halfway through, so maybe not team of the season, maybe like signs of the season, but Asensio, been great, isn't he? Rashford's been decent. Not team of the season level. Oh, who should take this? Who's on the pitch? Hard one, isn't it, really? Who to take this? I would say that Dewsbury Hall will probably take it. I remember he used to take them for Leicester. If not, you might look at Noni Madueke to take it. But I reckon Keane and Dewsbury Hall will probably take this. It's a penalty. It's a pen. Fucking hell. I thought that was going to get given as a free kick. It's Nkunku with the chance to blast up the numbers. Nkunku. Now, he has been absolutely dire of recent. And the numbers won't suggest how he's played this season. But I am very, very happy for those numbers to be misleading if this penalty goes in. I wish Cole Palmer was still on the pitch because we could give him this penalty and then he could break the goal drought. But Nkunku steps up and it's saved! Oh, shit, isn't he? He's rubbish. He's rubbish. It weren't a great penalty at all from Nkunku, to be honest. They always speak about the perfect height that a goalkeeper wants it at. Well, that's the perfect height there. By the way, we've just scored. Noni Madueke. Makes it... well, I mean, Nkunku should have made it 3-0 Chelsea. Noni Madueke scores at the back post, really proving his worth. And listen, let me quickly speak about that penalty. They say about the perfect height for a penalty. That penalty was the perfect height for a goalkeeper to save. Nkunku did shit there. Very luckily, I felt like I was going to need to change my scoreboard to 3-0. Then I thought, oh, God, for fuck's sake, Nkunku's missed it. I'll hold off on that. And now, the scoreboard has gone to 3-0. Because Noni Madueke creeps in at the back stick. Just watching it back now. Jadon Sancho driving into the box. Gets the better of his man. Puts it across goal. And two Legia Warszawa defenders maybe could have done better there. Misinterpretation as to who goes for Noni Madueke. But Nonzino Pacino puts the ball in to the back of the net. 2 goals for Noni Madueke. Now, we have spoke so consistently about what a difference, right? Sorry, not Jadon Sancho. What a difference Nicholas Jackson and Cole Palmer have on this team. The effect that they have on this team. Noni Madueke's gone under the radar, mate. Noni Madueke has been missing for what? 6 weeks? Something like that. He's gone under the radar. He really has. Maresca loves a player that drives at defenders. And I said at half-time, I sound like a genius now, but... well, I think I'm a genius. But I said at half-time, Noni Madueke needs to come on. Now, Shin Mayuka has just come on. Tyrick George has come off. Also, Matisse Amargu has come on. So, let's see. Am I interested in what Matisse Amargu can do? Not really, when I know that he's going out to Strasbourg next season. I'm interested in seeing what we do with Andre Santos, because fuck me, he better be coming back next season. I need Andre Santos in this Chelsea team. Games like today, you know. How's George not getting 90 but Nkunku is? Well, hopefully, because Tyrick George will be called upon a lot quicker, or instead of Nkunku from the bench against Ipswich. Do you know what, lads? I've got to be honest with you, right? It don't make anything better. I was speaking about being a little bit depressed earlier on and whatnot. But a 3-0 Chelsea win really does make me happy. Really does make me happy. And the best thing about it is it's probably going to be 4. I called the clean sheet at half-time. And I'm sticking by that. Although we have just given the ball away in a dangerous position there. Kukurea comes across, wins the ball. Good stuff. You know, I'm having a little think now about left-back options. Foul. Dirty bastard. I'm having a little think now about left-back options for Premier League Team of the Season. And actually, Kukurea is right up there. Right up there. Who would unbiased... they don't even need to be Chelsea fans. Just viewers of the stream right now. Who would you put above Kukurea left-back-wise this season? I feel like a lot of people might say Robertson. But Shin Miyuka, I'm excited to see if he can muster anything up in this last sort of 3 minutes or so. Gvardiol, good shout. Good shout. I think Gvardiol has been very good. Robinson also been very, very good. Did it freak anyone out the first time they heard Robinson speak with that Scouse accent, knowing that he plays for the United States? Mad, isn't it? And do you know what? He should have held out a little bit longer, mate. He should have held out a little bit longer, because he'd have been playing left back for England, wouldn't he? He would have been playing left back for England. He's probably picked nationality at the time of like Luke Shaw and Ben Chilwell both being, you know, really, really up there. Luke Shaw scoring the opener in a Euro final. Chile winning the Champions League in 2021, same year. And that's probably around the time he's thought, you know what, I'm going to pledge my allegiance to the United States of America. But if Robinson had been there, if he had been there right now, he'd be going to the fucking World Cup, wouldn't he? He'd be going to the World Cup. I hope I'm going out there. There was potential that I was going to be... or there still is potential that I'm going to be going out and doing some stuff for the Club World Cup. But there was potential recently that I was going to be doing some bits for the Club World Cup, and the schedules got in the way of my fight, and I had to not turn it down, but we couldn't make it work because of my fight, and then it got cancelled. So again, when I was saying about like being a bit depressed because of the fight being cancelled, you got to remember it's not just the money I've lost out on that hopefully I'll end up getting paid and whatnot afterwards. It's also the opportunities that you turn down, good money makers in the meantime. So, is what it is. I'm not going to keep moaning. Yeah, Champong's sort of moved into the midfield now in this second half. Sorry, I'm just sending important text. Sorry, I just got to reposition this so it's balanced. This is the beauty of live streaming with a pretty unprofessional setup. Do you know it's funny, right? Like, oh, here we go. Oh, Shimayuka tries to get a shot off. It's blocked. It's funny. I look back at the days of the kickoff when we were doing it from the studio. Some of the best days ever. I used to absolutely love it when we were doing the kickoff from the studio because it was before Brian had moved to the middle of nowhere. So he's local to me at the time, and I'd see him in person, you know, sometimes 2-3 times a week or whatever. But like, we'd have the kickoff, we'd film the kickoff. It was always good fun, and then we'd have a nice dinner, a couple of beers normally. Yeah, and it's one of them things where like until you don't do it, you don't realise how much you miss it. And them days when, you know, I'd get over there to the studio to film the kickoff, I'd get there at like midday or whatever and wouldn't leave until midnight. I used to, yeah, I used to love them days. Do you think the table will ever come back? What do you mean the table? What table? That's a good ball there from Kukurea. Let's check out Shimayuka's pace. Nkunku is devoid of confidence. Yeah, I do think so. And I think that's something I'll speak about in the post-match review. It's easy to say, like, you know, he's not trying hard and whatnot. And that's not specifically what I've seen from him in this match in terms of, like, a lack of effort. I've seen a couple of little bits where he has put a bit more effort in. But he's just playing shit, you know? And I think it'd be unfair for me to sometimes give Palmer the pass and not Nkunku. But obviously Palmer's just so much more proven. The kickoff table. Do I think the kickoff table will ever come back? For specific fixtures and specific shows, like obviously we still do the pain game stuff and whatnot. Yes, I think it will, probably. But as I say, basically in a nutshell, like, people always like want to know, it never ended. Just that format of it became close to impossible to do. And obviously Brian has spoke about it on his channel. But Brian took about 3 months to speak about it after it was like in the comments all the time, because Brian doesn't read his comments. I probably read more of Brian's comments than he does. In fact, I definitely do. I know he doesn't read any comments. He was the one that advised me to stop reading comments. And sometimes at points during this season, I've had to take his advice, because there's been a lot of negativity around me trying to spread a bit of positivity. Do you know what I mean? And I'm like, sometimes I take it, I'm like, oh, for fuck's sake, man. Like, why are people getting annoyed at me and whatnot? But they're venting their frustration. It ends up being vented towards me, but the frustration is towards Chelsea, and I understand that. But, back to the point, it took Brian ages to address it. Basically, it was just the fact that he... studio-wise, move location. So now, he doesn't have the studio close to me in London, where we used to record at before. Who's our starting centre-back combo next season? Well, you would imagine Levi Colwell and Fofana, but is Fofana going to be fit and available? Who knows? I tell you what, right? He'll just be sold on for pure profit, obviously. But one thing I would say is Burnley have been rock solid in defence this season, haven't they? Oh, sorry, I was just watching a match. Burnley have been rock solid in defence this season, and our lad is there. What's his name? It's just slipped my mind completely. What's his name? Oh my god, how have I forgot his name? Tell me in the chat. As soon as you say it, I'm gonna be like, why? How the fuck have I just forgot this player's name? He starts for Burnley week in, week out. Top bloke, Joey. Can't believe anyone's giving you negative comments. Cameron, thank you very much, bro. But believe it, people are. I've had it all season, but like I've had a bad week of it recently because of the Misfits fight being cancelled, and a lot of people were disappointed at that. Bashir Humphreys, sorry, there you go. Yeah, a lot of people were disappointed at that. In terms of the Misfits fight being cancelled, and I had a lot of people... Oh! That's a good save from Jorgensen. First one he's really not had to make of the match, but first one that he's really had to make that maybe he hasn't been a favourite for. No, Gilchrist is at Sheffield United. Gilchrist is at Sheffield United. I meant Bashir Humphreys. That's what I meant. It just went from my head. I don't know why. But yeah. Lads and ladies, if there are any of you in here, as I always do when we're about to wrap up, because I'm going to record a post-match review straight away after, let's have your man of the match. Let's have your man of the match. For me, it's very hard to not give it to Noni Madueke, if I'm being completely honest. So I think I would give it to Noni Madueke. I would give a mention, don't shoot me down, to Kiernan Dewsbury-Hall. Because it's a good save from Jorgensen. I'd give a mention to Kiernan Dewsbury-Hall for getting in so many positive positions. it would be nonny. It would be nonny, to be honest. Because people are say about those sort of opportunities that Dewsbury Hall's missed, but you've got to make the opportunities yourself. And he's just had another shot. He's had 5 shots this game. What I'm saying is, it's the most lively that I've seen Kiernan Dewsbury Hall in a game for Chelsea Football Club so far this season. The most lively. Yeah. Yeah. And a shout out to Tyreek George, yep. Any advice on equipment for a home studio? I don't think you need to go big in terms of spending. I think that your iPhone camera is probably good enough. I would say before you invest in a camera, invest in a microphone. Mine is a Shure SM7B. So yeah, Shure SM7B. Has to be Neto and Madueke starting on Sunday. Yeah. Yeah. Definitely. I would probably leave Nkunku in Poland. I would just say, mate, plane's full. There's a problem with the left phalange. And that is full time. People, thank you very much for everyone that joined the live stream today. Thank you very much for everyone that obviously was very generous in donating with their super chats. And right now, I am going to film my post-match review.